Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. And yeah, let's thank our members: Invictus, Scott, Interceptor, Richardson, Rupert, Danny Cage, and B Cupped. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 15k until the end of the year. And let's get going. So today we have a kind of a quick video talking a little bit the AIM-120. So yeah, the MRAM was actually found in the files of the dev server. It doesn't mean anything, okay? It was found that the R27ER is there, the R27ET. Back in the day, they found the AIM-9M. Of course, we have the R73, the Python 3, the PL8. So we have many missiles that are not added to the game. So it doesn't mean that the missile itself will be added. It just means that it's in the files, and probably in a soonish future, it will be in the game, but maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. And yeah, and here we are flying out a little bit of an aircraft that can actually carry the AIM-120 or the RB99, which is the vegan, the JA37D, which is the ultimate vegan, basically, right? It's being added to the game, so yeah. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the missile itself. It's a missile that I know, it's going to be a little bit OP, but I don't think we are that far off. We are a little bit. I don't think we will see even in the next year the AIM-120, to be honest. I think we will see, like, when we start to get a lot of 90s aircraft. We are starting to get to the 80s here. Of course, an aircraft such as the J37Ds from the 90s, an F-16 Block 20 of the Chinese Tech Tree, it is also from the 90s and the 2000s, even though it's an upgraded version of an older aircraft. But still, of course, we have options that are there that are already, more modern. But the main core of the game is still in the late 70s and early 80s, right? So now we are going to get the F-16, the MiG-29, where finally get like really in the 80s, right? And the more we get a little bit in the future, the better the missiles will be. We're going to get eventually the R73, we're going to AIM-9M, R27ERs, and AIM-7Ms, and whatever. But they are all Fox 1 and Fox 2s. And MRAM itself, it is a Fox 3 missile that has the capabilities of being very, very good, you know? It is a missile that it's not this type of Fox 3s that we have right now in the game, like the Phoenix, that are for very long range, and they don't turn very well, and it's hard sometimes to actually hit something with that. It is a missile that it is supposed to be like substituting the Fox 1s, right? So the objective is medium range, kind of. So especially the MRAM, the maximum amount of range that it can, I mean, the first ones, obviously we have the A, the B, the C's, even I think the D is being made, and later C's are being used right now, later blocks to the C. So yeah, of course we have many variants, but let's talk a little bit about the AIM-120A, which was the one that was found. And also it is the first one in the early 90s that was added to the arsenal of the US and many nations. So probably most nations, if we are going to get these missiles, are going to receive the A, right? These missiles, they turn very well, but it's not something crazy. It's going to be 30, 35 Gs on the max side, maybe a little bit less, depending on the version, depending on many things. It's hard to find proper information on this, because many of these things are classified still, but still it's a missile that will not turn completely different than a missile like the Sparrow. It will be turning better, obviously, but it's not completely different, you know? It's not out of the world of in-game capabilities, right? The R77, you can say that as well. It's around 30 to 35 Gs, I think, as well. And the range itself is not that great as well. The AIM-120A has around 50 kilometers of max range, if I'm not mistaken. But it is still a missile. I mean, 50 kilometers, not nothing, right? But most missiles already have these type of ranges. This is maximum range, obviously. We would see like smaller ranges for some other variants. Not smaller, bigger ranges for some other variants. And of course, this is the maximum amount of range. So the effective range would be around the 20 mark, right? Kilometer mark, 30 on the max side. And if you compare to something like the R27 or even the M7F that we have, it's basically that, right? It is around 50 kilometers of max range and around 20-30 kilometers of like maximum effective range depending on the situation. Really good range, it's like 10 to 15 kilometers, right? These missiles of no escape zone basically. And the AIM-120 will be the same. These earlier variants will be the same. The main thing is the possibility of firing the missile and forgetting about the missile. Obviously you can fire the missile and just go away, so that will make a lot easier to evade upcoming missiles, because you don't need to kind of maintain the same heading as you were when you launched the missile, right? Like it is in the Fox 1 missiles. So that will help a lot. But that's the main thing, man. Both of these missiles, that would be probably the first ones to be added, the AIM-120A and the R-77. They have a very low range, not a very low range, but a range that we already have missiles that do that. The Fox 3 capabilities will be a different thing, but the turning capabilities are not that different as well. So in a sense, it is a step up, but not that big of a step up as many people think. It's a lot of people compare to like more modern air missiles like the C5 or C7, I don't know, AIM-120, or even the R-77-1 or 77M that it's supposed to be released in the soonish future. So it's not that, you know, it's really 90s, it's like 80s technology still. So yeah. And there's two ways of these to be implemented, these Fox 3 missiles. I can see two ways. The first way is probably the more realistic one. It would be for this type of aircraft, the J-37Ds of the world and the F4Fs, ICEs of the world, and all of these aircraft that will not be that competitive against the performance-wise of those F-16s and F-15s and MiG-29s and Su-27s of the world. But with these missiles, they can actually be a little bit more competitive. I don't like this option too much, but it is an option that they might consider, adding these missiles for older generation aircraft first to kind of balance them out, fighting these more advanced aircraft, right? And the one that I most agree with, and actually the most likely to come, it is to come for everybody to balance, like they did with this patch, almost everybody, right? Or a lot of people, at least, getting the aircraft. It is to come for every nation in the 4th generation. Instead of having the 3rd generation fighting 4th generation with Fox 1s with their own Fox 3s, everybody would have Fox 3s, so the vegan would receive it, the F4F ICE and whatever would receive it, but also later versions of the MiG-29, later versions of the F-16, F-15, Su-27s, they all would get it as well. That way, everybody has kind of a platform to be able to deal with these missiles and fire those missiles. So that would be a little bit more balanced, in my opinion. So yeah, but basically this is it, guys. Let me know in the comments if you think that the AIM-120 is coming in the soonish future. I still think that it is, but not that soon. Probably around, as I said, around next year, end of the next year, or even 2024. Hopefully they add it, in my opinion, hopefully they add it as a balancing purposes of adding for everybody, right? In later, like late 80s, early 90s aircraft. So we are not that far off, but we have still a little bit of walking to do, right? So yeah, not going to completely change the game, but it will be fun to see these missiles, hopefully with bigger maps as well. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you think that these missiles are coming, or if not, if they're going to be OP or not. I don't think they will. I think right now, if they were to be added, they would be a little bit, but not that much as well. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I see you guys on the next one. Subscribe, and bye, guys.